For real. Say the TV stand for tracks and vocals. You know this is easier than 1, 2, 3. You are now tuned in to Just Whack TV. Just Whack TV. Yep.
What's your name?
Jamala Lassane, aka Mala.
Okay, Mala. I like that. Who gave you that name?
I guess I did. Well, it's just sooner or later, everybody just kind of started saying Mala instead of Jamala to differentiate me from my aunt, named after her.
You named after your aunt?
Yeah, my father's only sister.
Where you from?
Atlanta, Georgia. Born and raised. Stone Mountain. Raised, actually.
Is that the best side?
East side is the best side.
If I was moving down here from somewhere else, where would you tell me to move? Where would you suggest?
Decatur.
Why?
Well, closer to the city though. More like downtown Decatur. It's nice and urban. There's lots of places to shop and eat. It's close to pretty much everything. It's almost the center of the universe. To me, it's the center of the universe.
What's some of the places that you recommend? Some of the landmarks?
Little 5 Points.
What's in Little 5 Points?
A few thrift shops, jewel shops, good food. Pretty much, it's basically like Little California. It's like Little San Francisco, I'll say.
All right. Give me another landmark.
Fourth Ward, mostly because there's a nice skate park there. And there's all types of restaurants around that area. So Atlanta's first. Food and art is what we're best at.
What part of the arts are you a part of?
Both. Fine, performing, and food, culinary. So.
Okay, so you cook.
Yeah.
How long have you been a chef?
About 5 years. Since
Okay.
I was 18.
Now, is this professional or is this trained?
4 years, 19. So I have been trained as a cook. I went to the Cordon Bleu for most of the time. I didn't finish due to injury. But yeah.
What was that like for you? Like going through culinary. Everybody sees shows like Hell's Kitchen and, you know, Master Chef. Is it really like that?
Yes, but a bit worse because they do that stuff for TV. 9 times out of 10, the cameras aren't rolling and you can go cry in the corner. There's no crying in the corner in the kitchen at the Cordon Bleu. They were specific about balls, I guess, big balls. So I didn't let them see me sweat or cry. They were easier on us because they didn't scream in our face too much, but they definitely there was no bullshit in the kitchen. Get out.
Is that the phrase? If it's too hot, get out the kitchen. Does that?
That's exactly. It's accurate. It's the most accurate phrase of my time, if you ask me.
What would people say is the most underestimating thing about cooks?
All the way down to the knowledge it takes. As far as math, there's a lot of math in it. Culinary math is a thing. It's an actual class that is mostly math. 2 parts math, 1 part culinary. So 9 times out of 10, you have to know your measurements as much as possible. You have to everything down to the T. You have to know. Yeah. you have to know a lot about. I can't think of what I'm thinking of, but you know what I'm trying to say. The measurements and yeah, you get me.
For some of those things that you didn't learn in the book, where else could you have learned those things? Where else did you learn those things? Was it from your mom, grandmom, father?
Mostly in the actual field, you do learn those things. You don't have to go to school to learn, but it's best to because they get all the way down to the foundations, the base of things, and but you do need experience as far as it's best to have, it's best to have experience as far as your background, how you grow up into it, what you take from it. It'll help a lot.
So were you in the kitchen? Were you watching moms and dad?
Or both, but
how did that work? Did you work with your mom and dad? Let's go there.
Not really my dad, but definitely my mom. She pretty much taught me everything I know, base wise, of what to expect in the kitchen and as far as what to do and how to actually serve. Don't start a job you can't finish. So as far as where I began, she gave me most of my background. I kind of just needed the math and the headspace to transition into the workforce instead of just being in my mom's kitchen, because that knowledge is there, but you definitely do need a bit more to push yourself, at least, because knowledge is knowledge.
What would you say, or would have been your first dish that you perfected that someone would say would be difficult?
Baked mac and cheese, fried chicken, 100%. Collard greens as well, but mostly baked mac and cheese. No one really knows how specific it is to make baked mac and cheese. And if you throw a bunch of blocks of cheese in a pan with your macaroni versus actually creating a sauce, those who know how to make mac and cheese know exactly what I mean. There's a difference, a huge difference in your outcome. So, it's mac and cheese for me.
Let's switch it up a little bit. How do you feel about the presidential debate last night?
I listened to most of it. I was falling asleep. First of all, I need like a script or something to know what everything was saying because of how much they were running over each other. I'm pretty much upset with my choices. And I'm understanding of what they both have to bring to the table, but upset with what I have to choose from. Donald Trump didn't make that much sense to me at all. He pretty much doesn't know how to answer questions when it comes to specifics and actually straightforward answers. He'll run all the way around the question with stuff he's done for us or his progress. He doesn't know how to answer a question without mentioning what he's done for the people. He doesn't know how to give a real analysis. His first thought, you know what I mean? It sounds coked up to me, a lot of it.
How did you feel about Joe Biden representing the Democratic Party, supposed to be the African Americans' voice?
In a way, I feel like he's posing. In a way, that's a bit much to say, but I do feel like he's posing. I feel like he's riding the line as far as what he feels we want. He's basically saying what we want him to say, but he's giving extra analysis. He's giving, an extra explanation to certain things. He actually has a plan, but he makes me just as nervous.
Are you going to vote?
I'm not focused on the presidents. I'm focused on the Senate and the DAs and the GPs and HEs. I'm focused on those more than the presidents. They don't really make the laws, and all they do is point fingers, if you ask me, and everybody else has to or not fall in line.
What community issues do you feel, even down to the mayor, what do you feel that need to be addressed immediately?
I think we need a plan towards COVID-19, as far as not just what to do about it, vaccinations and things. I mean, how to actually contain it. Because had we had a plan when this first broke out, it would have been at least a bit more contained than it is today, which isn't that bad. It actually isn't that bad. The numbers are going up and down, but the numbers are always inaccurate. I feel as though there's no reason as to why we don't have specific numbers as, as they did with what happened with the other pandemics. You know what I mean? They knew by the end of the year how it would play out. You know what I mean? These days it's everything is kind of up and down. So I think we need a plan with that and with everything else as far as I think we need a plan towards the child abductions. I have to speak on that. Sex trafficking. It's at an all-time high, and most of Americans don't even know why, what's happening to the children. I don't want to get into it, but that's where, as far as our future, what it means for our future, I see no progress. No progress at all. Because not only are we unable to contain what's going on with the children and the women, the black women, the black children, really children of all color, I see no progress. We don't even know what's happening to them, let alone how to contain it. It's redundant, counterintuitive, counterproductive.
How do you feel about the LGBT community here in Atlanta? Do you feel there is a movement towards unity, towards having more of a voice?
Of course. As far as actually being unified, places like San Francisco and stuff is way ahead of us, but we're at a solid step. We're taking solid steps to kind of, as far as rights, we have most of those already. You know what I mean? We're just taking steps towards acceptance, because there are a lot of actually cases every day of transgender folk being abused, tormented, lesbians, gays, just period, just being abused and tormented. For the most part, we are taking steps towards unity, because it's us and then it's them. Whereas it should be all of us, period. We shouldn't be dividing each other anymore as far as LGBTQ and then the rest of the world. It should just be the world. But we are taking our steps.
What do you think is one of the ways that more people can unify with the LGBT community to create a bigger voice?
Look outside. Literally, look outside. It's 2020. Not only are there some cultures and some people that are still outdated, still locking themselves in their homes to lock themselves away from how much the world is changing, but we are literally not in prison. We are literally out here. Like everyone, we're all out here together. There's no reason we should still be. And that's another thing with people of color, black people. Like, I think it's funny that most white people or Caucasians are like in love with Mexican food and like margaritas and whatnot. Just Taco Tuesday all day, but they won't actually look Hispanic in the face. You know what I mean? It's always speak English when you're around other people. You know, when you're not in your homes, it's redundant. At the end of the day, look outside. It's all around us. Everybody.
Why do you feel homosexual men are looked at differently than homosexual women or lesbian women? You know, why do you feel that it's different as far as colorism as well? A black gay couple versus a white gay couple. Why do you feel that it's looked at differently? Because people would say that it's racism or some type of sexism or colorism or it's just some type of biasness within a specific, you know what I'm saying, like belief.
Yeah.
Why is that? That even when we get down to being unified as far as us, we're still divided.
Yeah. I feel it's starting to look like folks are taking sides with minorities. You know what I mean? And when it comes to gay men versus gay women, it's it differentiates sexual way. I guess most men find it attractive a bit. Well, not even attractive, just they find it's a sexual preference for them. Um, Looking at lesbian women rather than gay men, because at the end of the day, there are groups of gay men that kind of put a mirror to these men, to these straight men, and show them exactly who they are. And most of them are intimidated by that, considering they don't know themselves, period. And it takes a woman for a man to even find out who he is. You know what I mean? So I think it's more frowned upon when it comes to gay men than it is lesbian women. Now with colorism, ooh, black women are the least respected, period. I want to say white women, I'm not sure what it is about the eye of a man or the heart of a man or the mind. I just know for a fact that black women in general are least respected, period. And when it comes to that terminology of respect, there's no in between at all, ever. So I can't even touch base on exactly what it is about white women and black women. I just know black women aren't respected, period. And we don't get our props. We literally created everything and still don't get our props. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that part.
What does the term mean, coming out?
I think it means more than what society places it as. I feel like coming out isn't just to your folks or to your friends. It's more like actually breaking out of the shell that we put on ourselves. Not saying we actually put it on ourselves, because we don't, but we do put ourselves in a box because of society, because of how everything is frowned upon. We put ourselves in a box, and coming out of that is more so as a spiritual journey than it is what everyone else is perceiving it as. It isn't like, oh, hey guys, I'm gay. It's like actually looking in the mirror and finding out if that is what that is. It's not just that we are gay or straight or lesbian. It's more as there's this spectrum of sexuality that is endless. And we don't know if we're lesbian or queer. You know what I mean? So coming out is more so as for ourselves, not anyone else. It's accepting ourselves first. And then everyone else just kind of falls in place, or they don't. Because half of the time, no one ever really does. So.
What does your family support mean to you?
It means more to me than anybody I know. They kind of try once and then shut their families out completely. Just move on with their lives. You know, they're pretty much running forever because there's nothing to face. If there's no support, there's nothing to face. But for me, support meant a lot. It didn't take one try for me. It took a few, and it actually didn't take too much. My family they're big-headed about me. They have a lot in their spirits that they feel I can bring to the table. They have a lot of, they have this huge perception of me that's deeper than my sexuality or anything I do, anything I get into, anything I'm involved with. It's about me, not anyone else or anything else. So.
Have you ever had a situation where you had to be there for someone who may have been going through what they would say coming out, or going through a situation where they were being someone was discriminated against them, were you ever that shoulder to cry on, or were you ever that person to help them through that transition?
More times than not. I want to say mostly because everyone just kind of gravitate towards me, period. Mostly damaged people gravitate towards me, period. So I've had, I'm going to say 99 or 98% of the women I know have been abused. If whether that's sexually or emotionally or mentally, but definitely abused. And half of those people were seeking acceptance in their sexuality. So yeah.
Let's switch the subject a little bit. Are you with anyone?
I am.
How does your family feel about her or him?
They love her. Honestly, they love her. They 100% accepted because they know. I guess it feels right. She isn't just a girl that's in my life. I will marry her, and they know that. They feel it. They know she's gonna stick around for a while. She goes hard for them. She's very supportive of me and my family, so it just feels right. There's no.
Are you able to get married in this state?
I am. Will I? No. Probably not. I probably want to get married in like New Orleans or something. Cali, or probably not. Probably not even in America. American weddings are so, wow, you know.
Where do you see yourself for the rest of this year going into 2021?
I will be taking my time with everything. There's no more room for stress or wondering, worrying. I'm kind of just taking my hands off the wheel. Mars is going to be in retrograde till the 13th of November. All we have left is December to kind of try to end this the right way if we can. So, considering what I've been through, not just this year, but just period, I'm taking my hands off the wheel. No more force. No more. Yeah.
What about cooking? Are you still going to be cooking this year?
100%. I have to cook for Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner. So, yes, I will still be cooking, but I'm not stressing. I'm not even thinking about it. Not thinking about it.
Give me something that a charge to people that you would like them to consciously start thinking about to get themselves prepared for whatever's next for them.
I want everybody to understand 100% that this is a time of purification. This is when there's a whole lot going on in the world, there's a mirror that's immediately put up in our faces. We have to look at ourselves. We have to understand not only is everyone being held accountable for what's going on out there, we have to hold ourselves accountable as well. So I want everyone to take their time, understand exactly who they are. This is the time to get into your spirit. This is the time to knock those walls down because we don't know what's next. At this point, it's biblical. At this point, we don't know what's next. So get into your spirit. I'm not even going to say get right with God. Get right with yourself. Forgive who you have to forgive. Let it go. It's not worth it. It's not worth your energy or your time anymore. It's let the universe do what it's supposed to. It's what's happening. It's what should have happened years ago, if you ask me, but it's happening now. So let it go. All of you. Every single one of you. Let it go. Please. Please. Forgive who you have to forgive. And not for them. For you. You have to forgive your parents. You have to forgive your loved ones. You have to forgive everyone who wronged you because it was supposed to happen.
I want to thank you so much for being on Just Flags TV, The Block. Tell everybody how to get in contact with you.
I just started a podcast. If you guys want to come listen, I'll be covering pretty much everything we just covered, and then some mental illness, the struggles of the world today, history, Black Lives Matter, Black Panther Party, everything you can think of, I'll be covering. I feel that there's no one who wants to be the voice of this generation, and if I have to be that voice, I will, because I'm sick. I'm actually sick. I'm actually mentally damaged by what I see, and if I have to change it, I will. So, follow me on section.88 or officially not alright, which is the official Instagram of my podcast. The name of my podcast, Kids Are Not Alright. I'm on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Apple Podcasts, and a few other platforms. So it's very versatile as far as where you want to listen. Please do tune in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Just Wax TV, the block.
Speaking swag, 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 swag. Yo. Just Swag TV.